Welcome everyone. Adam the Woo here. As the recording of this, it is Sunday, September 15th, 2024. It's been a couple months in Mini Marge, my glorified golf cart. And it's been a couple months since I've been back in town. I'm heading to Market Street in Celebration, where each and every Sunday they have a flea farmer art market. And I'm just going to have a Celebration Florida day. I'm back home for a few days, enjoy the town I live in, and I'm inviting you to join me. It's good to have you here. Shall you? If I'm reading that correctly, it looks like it's 84 degrees right now, a little overcast, which is nice. Kind of glad I missed a good solid 2 months of the very intense summers that Florida has. Still very humid, still very hot. Summer's not over yet, even though Halloween time, I should say, has pretty much reared its head. But there is slight non-summerness trying to peek itself into the weather. Slightly. It's barely there, like 2% there. Ooh, I've never seen that one around town. Interesting how many things pop up when you've been gone for well over 2 months. There's the clock right there too. It's 5 minutes to noon. It's a beehive of activity down here each and every Sunday. I love this event. Hopefully I can find golf cart parking. It's good to be home, even though it's going to be a short time frame. It's good to be home. I've said this before, but I'll reiterate it. I'm only here for a couple days, but in October, my game plan is to be here all of October. My goal is to not go anywhere outside of Central Florida area, or at least within a few miles of Central Florida. Florida. Gosh, I'm having trouble speaking. That's what happens when you're not caffeinated yet. All of October. So that's the goal. So I'm just here a few days and then I leave town again. Such is life. Such is my life. It's fun though. Oh yes, it's good to be home, storm drain. My apologies to Mini Marge though, even though there was a parking spot. It's in the sun. You see the sign peeking up there, this little, just the right markings there on the ground to. But yeah, there's a lot of shade parking, but if they're all filled up, so you have to take what you can get in the sun. I was actually surprised that a regular car wasn't parked in here. Sometimes regular cars would just park in the spots, even though this is obviously made for a Mini Marge or a mini vehicle. Church bells are ringing. The church bells over there at the church, Community Presbyterian Church. I've only got the last two of the noon ring. Right here on the corner of Celebration Ave and Sycamore. Whenever I think of Sycamore, I think of Zacchaeus in the Bible. I've seen skateboarders around here. I've even seen one-wheelers. I've seen scooters. I've seen bicycles, and I've seen a lot of people walking. But I don't know if I've ever seen someone on the old school rollerblades around, or even regular skates. You know, it'd be kind of neat to bring like traditional skates back. You know what's interesting too about skating, like skates, like when you go to the roller skating rink? I could never figure out how not to get a blister. Every time, by the end of the night, blister city. Of course, it's been 25 years since I've been on a pair of roller skates, so maybe my feet have morphed into unblisterness, but I doubt it because I've gotten blisters even with regular shoes on. Speaking of, I'm back to my original Crocs here. I don't like these Crocs as much as the Crocs I had on the last 2-month road trip, because those had a little more cushion in them, but these are okay. I might have to get another pair of cushiony Crocs. I have the socks with the Crocs, but I don't have the cushion Crocs, so I have one layer of cushion with the socks, but the other Crocs I had during the last couple months had a cushion level, so I had double cushion. I might be Team Croc now. Jacob the carpetbagger would be proud. I'm not going to wear Crocs every day, but a couple days a week, just to give the feet a little breathing room. Oh, I'm just noticing. So, the Cornerstone Deli over here. Last time I was here, again, it's been well over 2 months. The couple days past 2 months. The Cornerstone Deli, a couple months before I left town, closed down. They were sitting empty, and now something has gone back in where the deli used to be. Has the Cornerstone Deli reopened, or is a new business taking over? I gotta check that out. A lot of people sitting in the shade, very, very smart. Also, if you're ever looking for the clock, some people do make it to Celebration. If you want to know where the clock is, a lot of times I'll show. It's right here under the Bank of America, which used to be the preview center for Celebration when it opened in the 90s, underneath this tower. This is the clock. It's a few minutes past noon. See if we can get the minute hand to move. What is it, 5 minutes past noon? 12:05-ish? Right there. This side has the dog on the hour and the bike rider on the minute hand. Sometimes the clock gets kind of cloudy. They clean it off occasionally, but sometimes it gets cloudy. Right now, I'd say there's probably a 16.8% of cloudiness on the front of the clock. Did it move? I think it might have moved. I think I may have missed it. I was too busy talking. Yeah, this vehicle's for sale. It's a Western golf cart. Lido or Lido sedan. It does have a phone number on the front of it, but I'm not going to show that for obvious reasons.
Sounds like a golf cart?
It's a golf cart, yeah.
Is it?
This thing's fancy. It has a tag on the back as well. I'm not going to show the license plate, but there's a tag on the back as well where everything in Celebration, if you have a golf cart in Celebration, including the one I have, including the Gem, that's an E4 right there. I'm noticing a lot more golf carts are starting to pop up around here. It's funny when you buy something, you start realizing that they start to pop up everywhere. You start to notice them more. But I do believe there's probably twice the amount of golf carts here now than there were a year ago. Hasn't been a year. I moved in my house at the end of last year. Bought the golf cart, I think, in January. I think there's double the golf carts now than there were when I bought my golf cart. Ah, yes. Also, in summertime, at least it was this way last summer. So usually all year, this goes on from, I think, 10 to 2 or 9 to 2. Don't quote me on the starting hour. But till 2 p.m. usually, except during the intense summer months, it closes at 1. So if you ever head down here, each and every Sunday for the Farmer Art Flea Market, as you call it, it has a lot of different names in my own mind. I don't know what the official name is. Just make sure so you can beat the heat. But the shops on Market, or the little stands on Market Street usually close at 1 from what I remember, at least last year. And upon walking in, I noticed right when I walked in that it's pretty much the same kind of scenario as it was before. The only exception is they built like a wall, partition wall, to where the store kind of extended out. They moved some shelving around and things, but they still serve the Boar's Head. I believe the old place served the Boar's Head and all that. But it's basically the same thing. It's just a different owner, and they dropped the name Cornerstone. But it looked pretty much kind of the same, except for just a few shelving units being moved around. But above this American flag, right up there, was my old apartment. That was my old room window, right up there before I bought the house. Right here on Market. Never seen this booth out here before. Panthers Gallery right there. Some artwork. I've seen a couple of new vendors I've never seen before as well. Some natural juices over here at Pocho's Mango Shop. That looks pretty good. Of course, there are some staples that I always see out here, including the fresh guacamole place, which is always really good. Love some table-side guac, if you will, but this is more like street-side guac. I love fresh guacamole. Look, there's a booth. Somebody could put a booth here. There's a spot for a booth. Someone decides. I think I'm going to go over to Starbucks and get a coffee. So I used to get coffee from the stands, but I realized the coffee is never piping hot enough for me, and there's a reason for that. I like to support a lot of the local vendors. But the coffee, the hot cold coffee is fine here, but the hot coffee, because it's not plugged in, it's basically in a big thermos. Well, not a thermos, but a big thermos type jug. If you get here not right when it opens, you're not going to get the hottest coffee. I'm a hot coffee snob. I'm not a coffee snob. I'll drink any coffee, but I like it hot. I like it piping hot. Ridiculous. Yeah, as scorching as it is out here. Ooh, I wonder if Cool's out. I wonder if Cool the Gator is out, possibly. Maybe. All right, Starbucks. Starbucks, in my opinion, has some of the hottest coffee. It's always warm. I like Joffrey's too. I like Joffrey's blend at Disney, but sometimes that coffee's not quite as hot either. Well, I think my favorite coffee is Tim Hortons. Tim Hortons and Dunkin' Donuts is my favorite coffee. But Starbucks is right here, so it's convenient. All right, Achieve, just a regular Pike's Place coffee right there. I love all these kind of like retro style vibe bikes here. The fun fact, this is one of the few things you'll still see in town on all the light poles that has the Disney name on it, because Disney sold Celebration. They no longer own it. They built the town, but they no longer own it. So I got my coffee here just kind of perched. I'm also noticing that their Cool is out here. I must say Cool has grown exponentially since last time I saw Cool the Gator. Now, spoiler alert, I call every gator that I see in Lake Reinhard, which is this lake, Cool. It's kind of like SeaWorld has Shamu. There's been multiple Shamus. There's multiple Cools. Sometimes Cool will be small. Sometimes Cool is a little bit bigger. Right now, Cool is massive. Like, this is a lot bigger Cool than either that or the Cool I saw 2 months ago has eaten a lot and grown a lot since then. That might be the case too. Maybe Cool is just growing. He's a growing gator. All right, last time I was over here, he had not done this one yet. This is a new one. I'm also noticing if you see the hidden Mickey in there above Spaceship Earth, and then over here also there's a hidden Mickey above the castle. This one I bought maybe, I don't know, 6-7 months ago. I have this hanging in my living room. Yeah, there is a lot of good artwork out here. In fact, there's one guy, art by Hubert. He has a few different items. One of the things that I kind of noticed that he had a couple new things. He had one of the castle. He kind of like catering to the Disney thing. He does a lot of Celebration stuff, but he also does a lot of Disney tie-in to Celebration. And he added one with the Gator, and he added one with Mickey Mouse, almost like a Steamboat Willie and Cool of sorts. I'm the only one that calls him Cool, but yeah, there's right there, pretty neat. It's really humid out here. This is interesting. So the decoy duck, Howard the duck I call the decoy duck, is rearing its body and head out of the water over there. It's barely visible to the right of the pole. So if for some reason, it's been raining every day here from what I've been hearing since I've been gone, pretty much every day it's been like a lot of rain. But if it ever was a little bit of a drought, which doesn't happen too often around these parts, I would imagine that the decoy duck, which I have coined the name Howard the Duck based on the film, will maybe come to fruition. But he's like right there, just to the right. You can just see a little bit of him peeking up over the water. Isn't that interesting? Isn't that very interesting? Fountains on, people out walking their dogs. It is humid. It'll be a little too warm for the most amount of vendors to show up. Usually October to December, January, February. Let's say October to January, you'll see the most vendors out here. Even where I'm standing, there will be vendors. What I just showed, stretching down this direction, are full of vendors. But this time of the year when it's so hot, it's really hard to, well, I'm sure probably get people to want to show up to sit out here all day in the sun. Can't blame them. It's toasty. It's actually not even, like, temperature-wise, it's not scorching, but you get that humidity in. If the clouds were not out, this would be, like, unbearable to be walking out here. All right, I did, in fact, end up purchasing some freshly made guacamole and some chips for a little bit later. Take it home and snack on that a little bit later tonight. Put it in the back of Mini Marge's compartment. And then got something, I like to get things from the local vendors down here. Starting to get familiar with a lot of them. I would say 75% of them are there pretty much every week, and then the other 25% are new ones. So you always have new ones, but then you always have the staples of the Market Street area. Yeah, that's the Gem E4. I have the Gem E2. It'd be kind of neat as I live here. I'll be here a long time to see how many golf carts start to spring up. The golf carts can take over. Glorified golf carts can take over. Back of the golf cart has this little compartment here. Close it down. Well, maybe. Yeah, probably watch the Rays game later from my home. Rays not doing so good. Unless there's an absolute miracle, which I don't see happening, they're not going to make the postseason, even the wild card. So only a few games left. A little over 10 games left. I think 12 or 13 maybe. Give or take a game left in their season. Got to support the boys even though they're not making it to the postseason. And just a glimmer of hope. A miracle might happen. So I'll be eating that guacamole and chips later. Watching the Rays on my TV. Just still regular season. Speed humps. Or speed bumps. You can call them either or. I call them speed bumps, but I saw a sign one that said speed humps. I just thought I'm going to start calling them speed humps. Like this view here of the steeple of the church. Oh, this little... Watch out for the speed hump. See how it takes it. Oh. Handled it well. Little waterfall right there. It's also interesting to see here on Water Street how quickly these plants grow up. I think when I was here a couple months ago, they were like almost level as the grass, and now look how much they're grown up. Gotta be very quiet. I want to get this. Don't move, bird. Don't move. The stork, crane type of fowl. Right along the waterfall. Right there. Don't fly. Dang it. Dang it. That would have been a good one if I could have got up close. I don't know why I was so whispering. I got to admit, I never realized the name of this park is Hippodrome Park. Oh, that's kind of loose. Hippodrome Park. I passed by this, looked like they just kind of mowed it down. And the fountain's not working. There's a little maintenance over here. Just such a beautiful, beautiful community. Hippodrome Park. I love living here. When I'm here. Good thing is, I have the house here, so even when I travel, years from now, when I'm not traveling, it'll make sense on why I bought a house here. Happy with my decision. Hippodrome Park. Yeah, I never realized that. Look at this place. I just checked. It appears as if the Rays Guardians game starts at 1:40. It's not a 6:50 or a 7:10 first pitch. So, gonna watch a little baseball during the day, then go out a little bit later, run some errands in my car. Over here at the Celebration Water Tower, which really does not have any water in it. At least that's always been my theory. There are two Publixes here in Celebration. This is the older one. The newer one is on World Drive. Closer to the Disney parks, right there past the Art Deco 7-Eleven and Mickey D's. Except I cannot take my golf cart. There's only one road I cannot take my glorified golf cart at here in town, and that is the one that leads that direction towards the new Island Village extension of Celebration. So this is the Publix. When I'm in my golf cart, this is the Publix I can go to. I have to drive in my regular car to the other one. But when I'm home, I have my go-to meals that I have when I'm home. I usually get the boar's head salad from here. I get a can of chickpeas, and I get like a small, well, probably like a medium tub of cottage cheese. Hey. I also think I might get some hummus. Classic hummus. That's a big vat of hummus. I need the regular, smaller hummus. Look at the size. That's a lot of hummus. It's a lot of hummus. I mean, I guess I could get it and it'll last me you know what? I think I'll probably get the family size, which it's pretty bad sometimes when I start eating hummus and you realize the shareable family size, you're sitting in front of the TV watching a game, before you know it, you've eaten 3/4 or all of the family size. It is what it is. This is what I usually will get now, these little Crunch Masters. I started getting these a while back. I used to get these, but they're like a little too thick and girthy for me. So I kind of stay away from the pita chips, and I usually will just go with the Crunch Masters. Not the avocado ones, but the multi-seed are good. So I might get, oh, look at this. The ultimate, wait a second here. Let's go with the ultimate everything right there. I've never had the Parm crisps either, but I think I'm gonna just go with these. Actually, that's a small bag. Is there a bigger bag than that? There's not one of the ultimate everything in a large bag. Maybe I'll just go with the I'll go with the rosemary and olive oil. That works. A few different things here in the pre-made deli counter. Publix subs are amazing also. But again, my go-to, I don't know what it is, but I just love getting the boar's head salad here. There's a few different ones. You always got to check though, because sometimes the salad is not fresh. You always want to look at the back and see if that salad looks good, but sometimes when it gets a couple days old, it starts to get a little brown. So you want to make sure you got the fresh salad. And sometimes when it's a little brown, I'll go with some of the other non-boar's head style. But I do love a little boar's head action. Kind of funny, I'm so used to the Publix over on the World Drive side, the one that kind of has the retro vibe, that it's like muscle memory walking in there. Like when I go in there, I know where everything is. When I go in here, everything's a little bit different and a little off. So I can't just like automatically muscle memory walk down the aisles to go where I gotta go. I gotta actually search for it. All right, birds chirping. I hear birds chirping. I hear children laugh. I gotta watch Peachtree. I gotta go. Love that movie. Passamaquoddy, Doc Terminus. Singer from System of a Down always reminded me of Doc Terminus. They should cover the Passamaquoddy song. Dragon cartilage keeps you thin. Dragon's fat asphalt burns. A dragon tear will clear up your skin. Watch the profits come rolling in. I have some plans the rest of the year. I'm only here a few more days, and just to kind of announce what I'm doing. So international will be starting in 2025. Made that point painfully clear recently. But into 2025, after the holidays, there will be not as much U.S. stuff. In fact, a good chunk of what I'm going to be doing are places I have never been. Of course, out of the country. I haven't been out of the country very often. Actually, rarely. I've been to Tijuana in Mexico, and I've been into Canada. When I was touring with Guttermouth, we did a tour there, but I didn't really film a lot of videos. However, also I went to Toronto, saw the Toronto Blue Jays and the Rays last month with Scott on tape up in Toronto. However, I have not been internationally when it comes to cross the open seas. I have not been, what do they call that? When they go, you go leaving the stateside. So here's what's going to happen the rest of this year. I am going to be knocking off, so I've already knocked off all 30 MLB stadiums, seeing the Rays. I've got that kind of accomplished. I did a 13-mile Run Disney event. I did not run it, but I walked it very quickly. I think I had about a 17-minute pace, 17.10 pace. I did not get eliminated. The balloon ladies were 2 miles behind, or 2 minutes behind me. So I accomplished that. I accomplished all 30 current MLB stadiums. Next year, the international stuff is going to happen, but I have one more kind of bucket list thing I want to do before the end of this year, which I have talked about. Again, I'm reiterating myself, so tune out if you have heard this one before or kind of skip forward, whatever. Going to be hitting my 50th state early November. The first section of November, I will be in Alaska. I'm going to Alaska. Now, I've heard it's very cold there, snowy. I hope it's not too incredibly icy. I want to rent a car. Flying into Anchorage. Now, Alaska is the size of half of the U.S. I mean, well, it is part of the U.S., but it's like massive. So it's like its own massive chunk of land. It makes Texas look puny. So I'm not going to be covering a lot of Alaska, but I am going to be there for about a week, give or take a day. So I'm curious if I should rent a car or if I should just do Anchorage stuff, or I should rent a car, get a 4-wheel drive, and brave the elements of the rain and the snow. That I can drive in. Do not want to drive in the ice. So we'll be knocking off my 50th state. I've been to all 49 other states. I'm going to be doing that for my 50th state. After that, I'm going to be going to Las Vegas. Thanksgiving week, I'll be in Las Vegas. Then I'll be in LA. First section of December. And then I'm going to Hawaii. Big family trip. Massive family trip. Bunch of us going to Aulani, Oahu, the island. Last year, my mom and I went. This time, there's going to be more of my family. We're all going out there, sharing a big spot from my DVC points. We're going to be doing that. So here in Celebration, you are allowed to put up a lot of seasonal decorations, whether it be Halloween. In fact, I think in a couple days, you can start putting your Halloween decor up. I think the 17th or 18th. Again, don't quote me on that, but that's what I'm hearing through the rumor mill. Until like first week or second week of January, so you can go full Halloween, full Christmas. I am not going to put up any Christmas decorations this year because I'm really not going to be here in December. However, as stated, I will be here all of October, I might go full in Halloween starting October 1st or 2nd. So I'm going to be returning the very last day, or maybe the first day, last day of September, first day of October. I will be back from the next road trip I'm going to be doing, even though it's not really a road trip. It's going to be more flying and driving, a lot of SoCal and Northern California, things like that, and then I come back. So right now it's just a lull here in a couple days. So that's the rest of the year. Just to reiterate, this is my plan. This is my last hardcore when it comes to U.S. travel year for a while. It's going to be international starting next year. My plan is to go out somewhere for about 2 weeks to 20 days every month. I'm hoping I can do it every month unless there's like something happens and I can't. 2 weeks out, 2 weeks back, give or take a couple days. That's kind of the template starting next year. Got the passport. There's 150-ish countries that I can visit without even getting a visa. All I gotta do is get on a plane. Super simple. Book a plane flight. Go. Nestle into the countryside. Learn a few things. Get out of my comfort zone. Oh, I'm so excited. But the rest of this year, back to SoCal, up to NorCal, back to SoCal, back here for all of October, out to up to Alaska for a week or so, back for a couple weeks, out to Vegas for a week for the end of November, LA the first week of December, Oahu, Aulani, family trip right before, we won't be there on Christmas Day, but back right before Christmas, hang out for about a week or 10 days here till New Year's Eve, and then international. Thanks for listening to that little 5-minute spiel. I know it kind of went on a little too long. Get moving. I'm going to go watch some Rays baseball. Also, I'm really disappointed that the Rays are not going to be making the postseason this year. I was kind of hoping it would have been really neat if I'd gone all in the last 3 years, going to all the stadiums, to have them make the postseason, go deep in the playoffs on the year that I was doing the completion of the 30 stadiums. But it doesn't look like it's going to happen. It is what it is. Not everything always works out the way you think, but anyway, nonetheless, life is good. I feel like everything I just said, I've said before, so I appreciate you. I appreciate anyone that listens to me just repeat myself and do a lot of the same stuff. It's part of me being me. I do not think people realize how excited I really am about 2025 and going international. It is much needed. Get out of the comfort zone. Really looking forward to it. Really looking forward to it. So one other thing, to be completely honest, when I was out on the last two-month trip, went everywhere. Toronto, Houston, St. Louis, Arlington. Where the heck else did I go? California. Gone for 57-ish days. I'm using ish and give or take a day a lot. That's my terminology now. Because sometimes I don't have the exact numbers. So I always say the give or take a day or the ish. Also, Old Arby's closed, abandoned here in town. What was I going to say? I've lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, I remember. To be honest, when I was out on that last trip, I thought about when I come home, being home for like 4 days, does that really make a lot of sense? Should I just stay here and not go back and just kind of bail on the plans I have for the rest of September, from middle of September till the end of September? Just stay here. But I'm staying the course. I love staying the course. Sometimes doing daily vlogs gets a little tedious. It's not difficult. It's just tedious. Sometimes just, a lot of it's muscle memory. I would think that's probably the best thing. Just having that muscle memory is what kind of keeps me going. The focus of being, doing it every day really does help. Looking back on how things are a couple months ago, and then you can kind of go forward. The timeline is just fun to have that timeline from point A going way back to point B. It's like a video diary. Some people have diaries where they write down things, they jot them down on a piece of paper, they look back on them. Mine is in video form. And I wanted to stay the course, complete what I already had planned, written down, not only in my mind, but also in my calendar. And then I'll come back here and I'll be here for all of October, because if I did not stay the course and I came back and I was like, you know what, it's not really that vital for me to go back out there, finish up what I was going to finish up, do what I was going to do for, you know, the 10 remaining days or 12 days, whatever it is, for the time I get out there till October 1st, then I probably would regret not doing those things that I have planned, simply because I'm going to be here for all of October. And knowing me, being here for, you know, 30 days or whatever, how many days are in October, 31 days, it's a good number of days. I probably would start going a little bit stir crazy before heading off to Alaska. So I think 30 days here in October would be good. Just a couple days here to like kind of decompress, take care of a few things. Had some things I had to, some bills to pay, things to do at the house, etc., etc. Okay, so I've got give or take a day-ish, and etc., etc. I don't use etc., etc. too much. So that's it. I think I'm going to end it right here, where this Arby's used to be. I'm going to go home, watch the Rays, you know, hopefully win, not making the postseason. That's okay, though. Enjoy eating my salad, eating my chickpeas, eating my cottage cheese, and watching a little baseball. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. It's hot out here. Why am I standing out here in the sun? I am, though. It's kind of a rambling vlog. I'll see you in the next video, the vlog. Thanks for watching. The sky looks beautiful. The sky is blue and all the leaves are green. The air is pure as a baked potato. I think you know exactly what I mean when I say it's a spredoinkle day. The vlog is over.